Hello everybody and welcome back to the Hollyoaks Weekly Roundup. This edition isn't going to be the big all-encompassing version I usually do. Honestly, I'm just going to talk about the things that I want to talk about because there was a lot of really good stuff in this week. Now, this week featured the demise of Abe Fielding, the parentage of baby Clara, Cleo taking revenge, and one of the most shocking surprise additions to this new era of Hollyoaks, without remembering that Sienna's bisexual, and who is she kissing? All that and more in this video. I'll likely talk about that at the end, and some Mercedes Grace Freddy stuff as it continues. So this week was the final end of this was the final frontier of Abe Fielding, as he'd fully been exposed and he's trying to escape. He's trying to make his way to not, he's a coward. He's trying to avoid capture. So in Monday's episode, he tries to get Marie to help him, but Marie says, "Sorry, Treacle, my biggest crime was helping you." And so Abe, being the respectful individual he is, he kidnaps his mum and in the process stabs Tony Hutchinson. Before this also, the girls conspire with Mercedes that they're going to shoot Abe. But Mercedes misses the shot, or it just nicks him. And he gets away and he kind of makes Joel choose. And so he wants to take Cleo or Perry and tries to get Joel to choose which one he wants to save. But in the end, he runs away because the police show up. And that's when he goes and kidnaps Marie. Stabs Tony, who I'd seen a lot of people being like, is Tony gonna die? No. I wish I could believe that Tony was gonna die. Even when Tony actually dies in the show, I'm still gonna be checking his pulse like, yeah, you really dead though, Tony? Like, I refuse to believe that he was actually being killed off when Breeda McQueen was on her rampage. I refuse to believe that he was actually gonna die, because it's Tony Hutchinson, man. He may not be the biggest attraction to Hollyoaks, but his status just adds a bit of gravitas and adds a bit of oomph to an already fairly big cast. But, him being there adds a presence that's trusting, kind of like Nana McQueen. She never really had the biggest stuff, but fundamentally, you always knew that if she had, she would knock it out of the park. Rest in peace, Diane Langton. But yeah, and he kidnaps Marie and Joel. They have this final showdown. Abe talks about how, Joel's weak, I'm strong, I ain't your dad, you're just a saint, why does mum always love you and pick you over me? And they mentioned about how they would play chicken and Joel would always swerve at the end. And this sets up a massive car stunt. Well, I said car stunt, we don't actually see the crash, but we just see the build-up where you have Abe with Marie laid down in the backseat, and Joel in his own car playing chicken. And this time, Abe swerves off, hitting himself and injuring himself. So Joel saves Marie, and then Joel has a choice. Is he like his dad, or is he a better man? Because he could have just bludgeoned Abe right there and then, and he hits him a decent chunk. But he is a better man and decides to not do it, which is really big. And it's a cool little set piece that they set up earlier in the episode. Continuing that on, though, where he takes Abe back in the car and gets the police, but Cleo, knowing that Abe is now here and safe, knowing that Marie and Joel are safe, she takes the car and kidnaps him and puts him back into where she was held captive, tied up. Oh, fantastic. But she gets an ally. She gets an ally in this. Sienna helps Cleo out, which, judging their history, not really something you'd expect, but more on that. So Sienna then is trying to help Cleo deal with Abe. Cleo's like, I need to kill him. I need to hypothetically, in a video game, destroy him. And Sienna's like, it'll ruin your conscience, man. You don't want to do it. You really don't. So she gives him a bowl of porridge anyways, and he throws it at her, leaving Cleo mortified. And then Cleo sat in a shower, all wet, and then Sienna comes in and comforts her. And obviously the reaction at the start, but I suppose now is the time where I give my reaction to this next moment. Sienna and Cleo kiss. Oh! What? What? Cleo and Sienna. And this is where and that was my reaction to it. It's insane to me because, look, I've seen a lot of people complaining about this because generally in soap, sometimes you do stuff like sometimes your main plan isn't always look, you can't plan a character out 7 years in advance. Both Cleo and Sienna have been here a long time, and they have this very cute, like, nice little scene where, you know, they kiss. And look, Sienna is bisexual. She's been with men. She's been with Summer, who was the only woman she's been with, but still, she's been with women. And that kind of awakens the bisexual side. Now, I don't think Cleo has been anything other than straight as such. But I don't know. I don't really think Cleo, like, it's not that important. It's one of those things that people complain about being stupid, but like, who cares? I'm excited to see this direction of Cleo and Sienna because it's a relationship I never knew was possible. And it really is the way to make someone such a larger character if you want, because look, say what you will about all of the stands of, like, you know, woman loving lesbian, woman loving lesbian, women loving women, like stands and the gay stands and members of the queer community. These characters ascend in stardom because of their presence in a gay relationship or a queer relationship. You know, whatever the word is. I'm an ally, guys. I'm a part of the club. And this could be the exact direction that Cleo needs. Now, if they go with it, sure. I don't know if they necessarily will. I would love it to, because why not? Look, Summer and Sienna were dangerous. They were ridiculously, like, bloody hell, Jesus Christ, guys. Except that time where Summer sniffed Sienna's shoe. That was a bit weird, but I'll do the deep cuts. But this could just be what the doctor ordered. But I will say it did feel like, and since Cleo came back, the end goal is Joel. So I'm not expecting this to be like a 5-year-long relationship and they get married. But wait and see, because who exactly is Sienna gonna be with in this new era of the show? Robbie Roscoe? Ain't no way. Like, but also, I think it's a good thing for, first, Joel and Leela to continue a relationship that I was very kind of reticent to enjoy at the start, because you did bring Cleo back and it's, oh, Cleo's back, this is great. But now, Joel and Leela's been through a lot, and there's a lot of really good stuff to work with, and at this point, I don't think they split them up. Or at least not for a while now. Like, at the end of the day, the Joel and Cleo endgame, I don't know if we need that anymore. I think Joel and Leela are actually a really good couple, and they've been through a lot, and they've really tried to establish them. So, I'm perfectly content with this, honestly. But yeah, it's just I am ready to look forward to this Sienna and Cleo story. I don't I don't know if it'll last. Someone's saying random, ridiculous. Yeah, Sienna is bi. The chemistry was working. Set for relationship. By Sienna 2025. Very random and ridiculous. They're not sexualizing the LGBTQIA plus community. Okay, fine. Look. Sometimes you can find a person that sets your world alight. Doesn't matter if you're straight. Everybody's had that, you know, I've had that male best friend who's like, hey, yeah, kiss? Do we kiss now? I mean, you know, perhaps, you know, my identity's ever changing. I've recently decided I'm bisexual out of, you know, just exploring how I feel. But, like, fundamentally, sometimes you meet someone in life that sets your world on fire. It doesn't matter if they're a man, a woman, they, them, non-binary, trans, anyone. Anyone can do that. I don't understand, like... And sometimes you can be like, yeah, I really want this. I like the feeling. You're not into it. But, like, it's a soap, homie. It's a soap. I'm so willing to see where this goes. I just... It's... why is everything... We love it when soaps are unrealistic, but when they, like, start to flirt with sexuality, it's... Oh, bloody hell, what are you doing? She's never shown signs of being interested in women. Yeah, but she's never been in this situation before. She's never been in it. When has Cleo ever really been close to any women outside of her family? Like, not in this instance, not where she's insanely vulnerable. Like, maybe it's just a comfort thing. But, like, I'm sick of people decide. It's like Carla. Everybody's like, yeah, but Carla's never shown any interest in women. It's like, what don't matter? She's found Lisa now. What do you want? Are you telling me those feelings aren't valid? Because they are. Like, what? Stop policing people's sexuality. None of your fucking business. None of your fucking business. Like, you know, we're at the point now. Sexuality is more fluid at this point. I don't know. It winds me up, man. I hope that Cleo and Sienna continue. I think this is the perfect relationship for Sienna in this new era of the show. I think this adds a lot of intrigue towards Cleo, who's simply saying has had a pretty rotten existence in Chester as a whole because she can't catch a break. So maybe this will be some happiness. You know, this will be her finally being able to be happy. And with Sienna, Cleo's position in the show is pretty goddamn safe. So I look forward to seeing this new avenue of the character. There we are. That's the Cleo and Sienna stuff. But, yeah, bloody hell. Fully. How does Abe finish? Well, Cleo and Sienna get back after their little kiss in the shower. And they go to see Abe, but it turns out that Abe isn't here. Abe is gone. And where is he gone? Well, Jeremy Blake. Not Jeremy Blake. Yeah, Jeremy Blake is leading him in to the forest. Where, you know, Abe goes like, yeah, your family's really messed up. As long as I get to that ferry port, I won't say anything, but your family are messed up. And this is where Jeremy strangles Abe, leaving him on the ground. And this is where Grace shows up, spots Abe. And for a second, I'm like, are they going to kill Grace? Please don't kill Grace. You've only just brought her back to being who she's supposed to be. She double taps Abe with the gun that Mercedes used to shoot, wearing gloves, so Mercedes' fingerprints are all over it. Goes to Mercedes and says, hey, water under the bridge, and slips the gun into the handbag. Oh. And then the police show up and arrest Mercedes for the murder of Abe. Cinema. Absolute cinema. This is the Grace Black you want, the vindictive, don't mess with me, I will ruin your life. Oh, it's just gold. It's just absolutely gold. Yeah, just great stuff. Obviously, Freddie and Mercedes are now moving together, and they're going to be together. And, they've stopped the Grace Freddie experiment. It was a cool way to bring her back to the show, but fundamentally, it's just how it is. Like, it was nobody's favorite relationship. It never really worked all in all. So, fair enough. I'm glad to see whatever Grace decides to do, but I can't lie. Grace will probably choose herself for now, and she will choose to rise to the top of her criminal empire once again, making the black name synonymous with the gangsters in Chester. What else? Basically covered all the main bits, I think. Oh yeah, just a nice thing. Cleo, Joel and Leela's baby, Clara, is Joel's, which is a lovely little bit of the story. It's nice that Abe's baby is not going to be Abe's. I am very happy that that's the outcome. That's the right outcome. That's the smart outcome. And what else? What else goes where? I think that's it. Diane goes on a date with Di Banks, who we think is supposed to be a normal character, but it turns out he is like a human trafficker, which is like, okay. And like, will Diane ask for his help with Ro, and that may, lead for Ro to be entangled in this. But all in all, a very exciting week of Hollyoaks. And also, finally, Jeremy takes another kill. But all in all, a lot of really good stuff. I know I got on my soapbox about people complaining about Cleo. Cleo suddenly bi? When was it implicitly said that she was straight, She's only been in relationships with men, sure. There are bisexual people who are, if they're a woman, they've only been in relationships with men. Doesn't mean you don't share those feelings for women too. You just never found the one you want to be with. I hate this gatekeeping of sexuality. Where, like, yeah, sure, like, I understand the idea where it's like, you're not just gonna suddenly turn, you're not just gonna suddenly turn Tony gay. I understand that one a bit more, but Tony's very implicitly straight, and I kind of get it. I kind of do. But if the story's good enough, and if the setup is believable enough, I'll believe it. Simply saying, I will believe it. But there we are. Another really good week of Hollyoaks. Simply saying, they've knocked these last 2 weeks out of the park. Tell me what you thought in the comment section down below. I've been Ash from Watching Walford. Thank you for watching. Join me in the next one. See you then. Bye-bye.